Hey everybody, welcome to the 1804 show, chapter 2. I'm your host, Dollar Will, and this is another episode of 1804 History. Yeah, I just wanted to come on here like a couple minutes early because I need to do this episode. Gotta go to work in the morning, so I wanted to just not speed this through, but to really give a shout out to everybody who's been supporting me and everybody who's been donating to the Cashapp and subscribing to the YouTube channel. I really appreciate that. But yeah, I don't really know what to say here except hopefully that this particular subject matter or this particular topic doesn't get me in trouble. But this is all public record. This is all fine on Google, Wikipedia, a little bit everywhere. So this is no secret. This is no surprise. And I don't want just any and everybody taking what I say the wrong way. But it just needs to be told. And I got a job to do. You know, it's like when you're a leader, people isn't going to like what you say or like what you stand for and like what you spectate. But at the end of the day, it's like we have to be honest. We have to be very truthful, because how else things is going to change and how else things going to get better if we live by this particular narrative. But I would say just me as a young black male in America, I just always been kind of skeptical about our second-class citizenship. And we go through these type of things on a daily basis, because nothing from the 50s, nothing from the 60s has changed in 2022. You know, we are still being hunted, we are still being discredited, and we are still being neutralized by local police departments all over the country. And I just tired of seeing the same things, you know, same marching, same assassinations, same unjust crimes, and people being sent to prison for things that they didn't do. So I just always wondered that, and I came across this story and came across how wicked the FBI director J. Edgar Hoover really was, and how he made it his mission to really take out any type of unity that we have. And I just wanted to, briefly, because I got my notes here, because I really wanted to get this right. So I studied this practically for hours at work today. So I wanted to just give y'all a little bit that I highlighted and everything like that, so you guys would know what this program was about and what it represented and how it's affecting us today. Okay, so the CointelPro program pretty much derived from counterintelligence program from 1956 to 1971. It's a series of covert and illegal projects actively conducted by the United States Federal Bureau of Investigation, FBI, aimed at surveilling, infiltrating, discrediting, and disrupting domestic American political organizations. So this is pretty much like people, you know, the FBI was supposed to protect us, protect the citizens. But little do we know that they was a part of our demise. Anybody who wanted to just lead black people and others into prosperity, you was considered a threat. You was considered a problem, because a lot of people don't understand how racism and segregation and all this other stuff, it was a way to generate millions of dollars a year by keeping us second-class citizens and not voting and not being able to integrate into local establishments and keeping us stagnated. And even though I would say that segregation helped us amongst people the most, because of the fact that it kept us together, it kept us unified, it kept us all on the same track and really integrating in all these different neighborhoods and different areas really hurt us as people. And I know a lot of people is going to disagree with that. And it's not about racist and being racist, racism and all this other stuff, and prejudice and all this other rhetoric that people like to call out. But at the end of the day, it's like I'm speaking for my people and the betterment for my people. And just being a black man myself, I just always felt that my life wasn't worth anything. And this particular program was designed to take us out. And it did, systematically. And even to this day, people like cops and judges and lawmen hasn't spent a day in jail. It was practically open season on anybody who was black back in them days, and still to this day. They even had, people that look like you and me who were informants. And that's how they was able to infiltrate these organizations, these Black Panther organizations, and Southern Christian Leadership Conference. They infiltrated all these groups based on the fact that they could have somebody who looked like one of us. And people even gladly volunteered to be a guinea pig, and they was paid bi-weekly for these particular assignments and get this information to the Bureau in order for them to have something to work with, just in case they wanted to, use these in court of law. But okay, I'm going to go back to what I was reading. The FBI has used covert operations against domestic political groups since its inception. However, covert operations under the official CointelPro label took place between 1956 and 1971. Many of the tactics used in CointelPro are alleged to have seen continued, including discrediting targets through psychological warfare, smearing individuals and groups using forged documents, and by planting false reports in the media, harassment, wrongful imprisonment, illegal violence, and assassination. The FBI motivation was protecting national security, preventing violence, and maintaining the existing social and political order. So the FBI pretty much flipped the script. Even though we was trying to just find ways to improve our communities, because a lot of these communities where we lived in back in the day were considered slums. They were considered ghettos. They was considered reservations. And I know a lot of people don't understand that, you know, the housing projects were reservations, and pretty much was like a scientific experiment. And it happened. You know, they was able to use us as guinea pigs, you know. And then I'm gonna do an episode on the Tuskegee experiment as well. But we was always just fucked with, and we was just trying to live. We were just trying to, you know, raise our families and be productive citizens in society, just like we always have been. And they had other plans. You know, they didn't like black people bettering themselves and really marching on one accord. So they would just use any and everybody and will find a crime on them. And then they was like, well, maybe you would do us some good use by being an informant, by, you know, joining this organization and getting dirt on them and finding out what's going on and really just detailing us what they do and how they operate, who they leaders, who they second in command, and we would pay you for your service. So a lot of these informants or whatever, so they won't get jail time, will participate in just monitoring and making sure what was going on and to try to just eliminate their jail time, you know. But the craziest thing about it was everybody think that it was Martin Luther King Jr. who was wiretapped and bugged the most, but really it was the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. And I have my issues with Elijah Muhammad, but Elijah Muhammad really was that dude to keep an eye on the most, because he controlled thousands and thousands of people. And everybody don't understand just the seriousness of what was going on, because most of us was really bamboozled of what the Nation of Islam stood for. And I'm grateful for that place, because Malcolm X would have not been created. Malcolm X would have not been brought into the forefront. And it helped a lot of black men, you know, find a sense of belonging and got them off drugs, got them away from crimes, kept them disciplined, kept them focused and all that stuff. And any time when black men and black people in general are like focused, is a problem. It's a it's a problem with national security. You know, they want us to stay asleep. They don't want us to stay woke. They want us to stay asleep. And a lot of us sleep, but the most majority of us are waking up and really seeing and reading between the lines of this bullshit that they conjuring up on a daily basis. Because they want us to kill each other. You know, they want us to exterminate each other. So it would be an easy way for them. Because I just try to just, understand even the ones who don't like me. And we got to stop underestimating people who will stop at nothing to destroy us. Shit, I got people that want me dead. I got people that want to destroy me. And I don't even be doing shit to them. I just be trying to run a productive and respectful platform. And I be having so many people come at me. I be having so many people try to discourage me and all this other shit. Because I'm not like everybody else. I don't refuse to be like everybody else. And to me, I don't do this for the views. I don't do this for clout. I do this because it's the right thing to do. Somebody gotta tell these stories and really just put the truth in the forefront. Because it's just a lot of people, man, that died, that passed away without getting their stories across, without getting their message across. And I do believe that spirits, which y'all say is ghosts, but I feel like it's spirits that still live among us, walk among us, and they are able to see and they be pleased with people who still letting people know about what they fight for and what they died for. And that's just really what it is. And that's really what gives me the motivation to keep going and keep doing these segments, because we really need people speaking out about just the misdeeds. Because they like to paint America as the land of free, the home of the brave, but America eats its babies. America killed their babies. You know what I'm saying? I'm an American citizen. I was born here. My peoples came from here, was always here. And it's just sad, like, knowing that, my own federal government won't protect me. And if I get killed, then they will find the most incriminating photo of myself with a bottle, with a black, or and paint me as a thug. And I'm not no thug. I'm not no street dude. But these are the type of narratives that happens to black men and happen to black children, black boys, black females. It's like you are expendable. Like your life don't mean anything. You just a number to them. And we just need to, stop the bullshit, man. Stop giving them what they want. But I'm going to read some more of what I highlighted. Beginning in 1969, leaders of the Black Panther Party were targeted by the CointelPro and neutralized by being assassinated, imprisoned, publicly humiliated, or falsely charged with crimes. Some of the Black Panthers targeted included Frank Hampton, Mark Clark, Geronimo Pratt, and Marshall Conway. Common tactics used by CointelPro were plagiarized, witness harassment, witness intimidation, and withholding any type of evidence. Let's see what else I highlighted. Okay, now this is really the bullshit here. A March 1968 memo stated the program's goal was to prevent the coalition of militant black nationalist groups to prevent the rise of a black messiah who could unify the militant black nationalist movement, to pinpoint potential troublemakers and neutralize them before they exercise their potential for violence against authorities. You know what's crazy is that they were so scared of a black Messiah. Why would they be scared of a black Messiah? You know, the Messiah is a Jewish term. You know, we all read the Bible, you know, Jesus, the black Messiah, you know. Like, why would they use that particular word or that particular term? You know, there were many leaders. You know, there were more white anti-war movements and people speaking out, but they would use Black Messiah. And then they say that they don't do anything. You know, they don't cause any of this nonsense. In 2022, like, they worry about guns. You know what I'm saying? They're having trouble getting gun control. Gun control is nonsense. Really, they trying to find a way to take our guns away. But they sugarcoating it. They're hiding what they really want to say. They're really trying to manipulate us through media training, but they don't want us to be armed. You know, it's our constitutional right to bear arms, but that's why all these majority of these police shootings, mass shootings going on too, to try to disarm us. So when you disarm the civilization and the civilians, then how can we protect ourselves? But that just always stuck with me of why would they use Black Messiah? Because they know if we knew who we were, then all hell would break loose. If they knew that the American Negro was the American Indian, then all hell would break loose. And all of us have been victim of the lies and the deceit. You know, I just sit back and think about just how so many people went to their graves without knowing the truth, without knowing what really happened and why we got to this point, or why we were picked to be in this situation. And it's clearly been right in front of our noses the whole time. And these people were dirty. These people use illegal wiretaps on the phones and bugs. Like, they would hide microphones in lamps in order to just spy for no reason. And to them, they feel like they were justified because even though they ain't had no proof, but they was just talking about how Martin Luther King had communist ties and stuff like that, and how the Nation of Islam was a cult and stuff like that. So they needed a reason to be evil. And sometimes people just believe what's said in the history book. But I'm telling you, like, to do this for 15 years and no penalty, no jail time, no prison time, no federal time. You know, these people was literally American gangsters. Got away with murder. got away with extortion, got away with the same thing that they was against. They became what they was afraid of against us, against the black people. You know, they didn't want us being empowered or enlightened. It was just to the point where it got real serious. You know, it became a very like cultural thing. You know, it was all good when it was just us, but you know, the Black Panther Party really got in not just black people, but they got white people and they got Mexicans, Asian people. So they hated that. You know, they had to put a stop to that because it was going to destroy everything that they built. A lot of these people were kids in the Black Panther Party. You know, a lot of them had children. A lot of them were practically, you know, a married couple. So they would have to like, you know, stay at each other's houses and be away from their families who were in the party, and they were just like really public enemy number one. And I'm not gonna say too much because I want to dabble more into it when I do Fred Hampton episode. So, but yeah, these people were totally the opposite of what they was fighting for, what they was doing to try to like stabilize and keep control. But they ordered so many hits on certain men and certain women, even children. You know, just how they had these informants, even in the Ku Klux Klan, like that killed people, and none of them ever faced any jail time because of the fact that they was on the clock for the FBI. None of them ever got convicted of these crimes that they done. But J. Edgar Hoover was found out because a group of white protesters stormed in at this FBI office and took over, I believe, 300 documents. And it was really bad to the point that the FBI had to respond publicly for the remainder of that year. It was a lot of meetings because a lot of people didn't know how big this was, because this was like a top secret program. So that's when CointelPro became front news, you know, wild world news at that time. And we have to just keep intact that even though J. Edgar Hoover been gone for 50 years, his ideas didn't die with him. So just imagine what's going on behind the scenes now and what's being done behind our backs and under our noses. And we have to come together. We have to stop all this hate, all this war, all this just going at each other. But yeah, that would include tonight's episode. I want to thank everybody who watched. Thank everybody who shared. And before I go, make sure y'all subscribe to the YouTube channel, the 1804 Show, Chapter 2. Hit the Cashapp, $, the 1804 Show. And y'all have a blessed night. Peace.